I made this fucking track 4 months ago.
LAZERKILL.
This project will be available for my Patreons. I've tried my best to keep it as organized as possible so that when you open this, you know what the fuck's going on. We're gonna start with the drums. So drop the drums and then bring them back. Now, the kick and snare pattern are fucking simple. Just look at them, okay? It's your basic trap beat. We got this snare being layered with the clap. So you can hear how this clap is giving it a little bit more of that high end. Now, as far as processing for the snare, that's without any processing. It's really just some EQing and reverb. The other stuff is just kind of for other moments in the track. So for example, these effects here are off because they actually come in on this part of the drop. The bloop thing. The snare is also layered with another clap. This one has a long tail, and I don't have that tail on every snare. So I have it every other snare. As far as the kick, just boosting up the high end a little bit. We also have these rides, which is simple. 4 on the floor rides, gives energy. I've said this plenty of times. Foley sounds, reverse sweeps, because reverse sweeps are the shit. And especially these little ones that I designed. And those are in destruction. Really just brings in that. Okay, let's talk about the right, and then I put a volume automation. So that's following the lasers. And then on the final drums bus, there's an EQ and a limiter. Let's get into the bass. And then we have this other layer, which is another growl. I've layered a bunch of fucking sounds on this bass. We have this sound from Flex. And then this one. Yeah, there's really nothing fucking crazy on this. And then there's this bass fill from Destruction, which I love. So what the fuck's going on with the lasers? I'm making them with SERUM, okay? We got SERUM right here. Initiate the preset. We're going to go to Matrix. We're going to go to Source. And we're going to use LFO1 to affect the pitch of the entire synth. So to do that, right, we choose LFO1. And then we're going to go to Global, because that means everything. And then we're going to use Master Tune. And that is the pitch of the whole synth, okay? So now, this little LFO will control the master tune. Now, how much do we want this LFO to affect the master tune? You choose that by moving this amount. Let me change this into like a different shape. And also put it on trigger so that it will start demodulation at the beginning of the LFO every time I press a key. So that's technically it. If I were to just take this fucking simple ass sound that we just made in like 3 seconds and then channel it to the same place as the other thing.
LAZERKILL.
It's not the same, but it's close.
LAZERKILL.
I'm putting a filter, you know, a high notch 12 filter. Then we have these effects on it. It's a little bit of comb, so that's changing the tonality a little bit. We've got distortion, we've got a little bit of delay, a little bit of chorus, compressor, a reverb that's very, very small. And then for some reason I'm bringing up the low end. Yeah, if you wanted to actually do this same patch, which I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend you actually just go and create your own processing chain. So what's going on here? First, the sound is being split into 3 separate signals. One that's letting the high end through, one that's letting the mid through, and another that is letting the low end through. Now, these three different signals are being affected differently. The low signal is actually not being affected at all, okay? And the mid signal is getting a little bit wave-shaped in like a weird way, right? And then the high signal is getting distorted. So the next thing I chose, after searching FL Studio for tools, I found this 1K distortion knob from Patcher, and definitely gave it more energy and beef. Then I used my trap synthesizer to brighten it up. Now we put a reverb on it, some EQ, multi-band compressor, a limiter, like you see what I mean? Then one little fucking detail. So I ended up layering it with, because without it, and then with it, sounds almost like a machine gun. And it's beautiful, and I love it. That's pretty much it for the fucking laser. And then that is actually going into this synth bus that has another limiter and a more EQ stuff. So then we have effects. We have this saw riser, which is very simple. It's just a SERUM patch with a saw going up in pitch. So nothing crazy. Then we have this noise. So that's giving more energy. Then we have this more glass, because I like glass. And then you know, more risers, right before that vocal, which we can talk about next. I actually use text to speech for a lot of tracks. I've been using this website right here, ttsmp3.com. So let's talk about the processing, because this is what it would be like normally. So we have my Robo vocalifier. Then we have Maximus, that is de-essing. Then we have a little bit of chorus, multi-band compressor, and then I EQ'd it this way. And then finally the same thing with the limiter, where I'm basically just making it as loud as possible. Then we have a chant, which is very simple. And I've actually exported that and put it into Destruction. And that is basically the entirety of the drop. Again, you can get this project on Patreon if you really want to go in. Leave a like, subscribe, check out Destruction, available at Threat Collective, and I'll see you guys on the next
LAZERKILL.